Mayor Campbell.
Here.
Vice Mayor Semaglia.
Here.
Commissioner Daly.
Here.
Commissioner Carter.
Present.
City Manager Goodroom.
Here.
City Attorney Hearn.
Here.
And I'd like, if we could, just take a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to have Principal Springer and Coach Mike Higgins lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. This is a dual, come up here and dual honor.
Let Mr. Higgins remember the words. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, if everybody could remain standing, we have another hit today. And Commissioner Daly, if you could join me down here, we're going to have some recognitions. I'd like everybody to give the drummers and the singers one big round of applause again, if you can. Commissioner Daly, you're recognized.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Well, good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know, I'm not the world's biggest morning person, but I have not had coffee, but I got to tell you, I am pumped. We should start with the drum line every meeting. And by the way, another round of applause for the drum line and the encore chorus. They are here this morning for a very important reason. It is the Coral Springs Charter School 20-year anniversary. So if I could, I'd like to ask the longtime principal, Principal Springer, to come on up and bring his whole team. Why don't we bring the whole team on up from Coral Springs Charter School for the recognition.
What did you call them?
The mayor tried to throw me off this morning and say, why don't you introduce Principal Skinner from The Simpsons? But I overcame.
No,
so.
before we do, yeah, go ahead. Let's do this first, and I'm going to have you introduce everybody.
Sure. So this is a special recognition, the Coral Springs Charter School 20-year anniversary. We're proud to recognize the City of Coral Springs Charter School and celebrate 20 years of outstanding achievements in academics, sports, business, technology, and the arts. As the city's only A-rated middle and high school for 2018, the quality education the charter school provides to our students is evident in its signature programming and success of its alumni. Congratulations on 20 years as the city's premier academic institution. September 5th, 2018, signed by the mayor, vice mayor, and the city commission of the City of Coral Springs.
And a personal note, my son was in the very first class at Coral Springs Charter. So, Principal Springer. Could we have you introduce everybody up here and those folks out there who didn't want to come up for some reason?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Number one, thank you, obviously, to the city of Coral Springs. Thank you to each and every commissioner and other representatives of the city. We really appreciate this honor. This kicks off our celebration of our 20th year since opening in 1999. And considering the rich history of this city for 55 years and the existence of this school for 20, that's significant in the footprint or the impact that we've made on this community as well. And we're thankful for that, for the commitment of the city of Coral Springs and obviously Charter Schools USA, who all of us work for, and we're proud to represent that organization as well. So we thank you, we appreciate you, and we absolutely are honored to be here and humbled, quite honestly, to be here for this recognition. What you see here, or the folks that are up here, are individuals that have been here since 1999. So a round of applause before I even introduce them. So there is, in addition to that, a significant amount of staff that has also been around, but I would like to introduce Julie Webb. She's our chorus director at the school. Mr. Mike Singer, who works in the social studies department. Arlene Delman in the middle school social studies department. Linda Saunders in the middle school math. And Allison Beckles, who works over in the social studies department for middle school. So we're proud of these teachers and their commitment and dedication. They've seen thousands of students come through our doors and have made a significant impact amongst them and their families. And I remind everyone, obviously, that we've made an incredible impact amongst thousands of residents here in this city, and we're proud of that and to have that opportunity. I myself am a resident of Coral Springs, so live, work, and raise a family, no doubt about it. Over here, off to the side, we have individuals that represent us on our administrative team and are part of our 20th anniversary committee. So Ms. Donna Hu, Carolyn McGuire, Michelle Brune, Cindy Wildrout, Mike Higgins, our athletic director, aforementioned, Bruce Leibowitz, Jackson Self in the back there, and Wanda Sanchez. And then I know Ms. Danino is somewhere in the back over there, our band director, and we're proud of her as well. And I also want to say thank you to our kids. Listen, we would not be who we are without our students. And that sometimes should go unsaid, but at times it needs to be reminded to everybody that we have incredible students at Coral Springs Charter School. We serve 1,670 strong in grades 6 through 12, and we are very, very proud of that. And the culture that they continue to create and make sure for those newbies that come into our school and foster that development. We are very proud of each and every one of them. So thank you again, Mayor. Thank you again, Commissioner Daly. We really appreciate your recognition, and I thank you so much for your support. And thank you to the rest of the commission, City Manager Goodrum. Thank you so much. We'll even give you a shout out, Mr. Hearn. Thank you.
Why don't you shake their hands too? Do you guys know the Gator fight song?
No, they do not. Not in this chamber, they don't.
Why don't you do one more rendition of something? Make sure it's not FSU or Miami.
No, we're going to take a picture. They're walking away.
Well, we got to get a picture. We got a picture.
Real quick,
Nola.
I just want to comment on something that Mr. Springer had said. Yeah, you do have wonderful students at your school, but that's not by chance. It's because of the culture that you and your staff create, and that's what creates that culture of awesome students and kids that go on, not only throughout our community, but off to other colleges and continue to impress those around them. So thank you, and thank you to your staff and a couple of my kids' teachers I see over there that I want to take photos with and explain to my kids why they weren't there today. So thank you.
All right, if I could have the members of the Multicultural Committee come on up. and their guest. And Joy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have Joy read that, and then we'll do this.
Okay. In 1981, the United Nations proclaimed September 21st each year as the International Day of Peace to be observed throughout the world. In Coral Springs, we acknowledge and endorse the growing support within our city to observe this day, and we encourage our residents to find ways to establish peace in their homes, communities, and workplace. Once again this year, we proudly partner in Choose Peace Week celebration, a collaborative effort led by the United Way of Broward County, the School Board of Broward County, and Children's Services Council of Broward County from September 17th to the 21st. As in past years, the community is invited to celebrate the International Day of Peace, either by joining in the Imagine Peace Wish Tree at City Hall here, the Coral Springs Northwest Regional Library, or simply hanging your wish tag on your own designated tree, inside or outside. Wearing white all day to symbolize peace across Broward Day, or performing a random act of kindness to a neighbor or friend. And you should do that all the time anyway. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
On behalf of the City Commission, City of Coral Springs, I'd like to do this special proclamation on International Day of Peace. As peace remains humanity's guiding inspiration, we encourage residents to join the United Nations and Coral Springs in celebrating September 21st, 2018 as the 36th International Day of Peace. We encourage residents to help establish peace in their homes, community, and workplaces. Therefore, we, the City Commission of Coral Springs, proclaim September 21st, 2018 as International Day of Peace. Now, I'm going to pass this down, and I'm going to ask who wants to be the spokesperson. Introduce yourself.
Audrey Owen. I lead the Silent Peace Walk first Saturday of the month.
I'm Bushra Razvi. I'm member of the Multicultural Advisory Committee and member of this subcommittee as well.
Lydia Kutz, work with Joyce, community relations, and also a member of Multicultural. I invite everyone to stop by if you have a chance. Write your wish for peace outside. There's a beautiful tree waiting for your wish.
I am Bessie Criswell. I've been in this city for 42 years, and thank goodness we have a very good group of leaders that has peace in this city, and thank goodness for the police chief and the fire department for keeping this city a peaceful city.
Amen. Well said, Bessie. And I'm Joyce Campos, a staff liaison, and I have the pleasure of working with all these lovely volunteers on occasions like this. And I thank you for spending the time you do with us.
Cynthia Tapia, Broward Schools. I'm Anita Fraley with United Way of Broward County. I just want to thank the City of Coral Springs for their continued support. The initiative has been was started in 2010, and since 2010, the City of Coral Springs has supported it, so thank you very much.
Good morning, my name is Melissa Sosa, and I am with the Children's Services Council of Broward County.
Andy Rodriguez, School Board, peace be with you.
They say pucks take 'em, benedictum. So let's get a picture if we could. Say hello to the rest of the commissioners.
Hello. Lydia, how's your son? To be president with it. Thank you, sir. So it's 42 years. I didn't see that much.
Dale, I presume you're going to help me on this one? All right, we in the city of Coral Springs recognize some of our bright spot winners, and we have probably 10 of them this morning, and Dale is going to help me recognize them. Here.
Oh, you got extra mics.
I got two.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. This is once a quarter, as the mayor said, we have a chance to recognize our employees for going above and beyond in teamwork and support they provide within the city. It is a peer nomination program. It's something that was started many years ago, and we're pleased to present to you this quarter's winners. All the winners are part of a drawing. So. A few folks couldn't be here today, so I'm going to call out their name, but I pulled some of the certificates out, so the mayor will just go along and hope to get all 10 of them done. First person up, Diane Armstead from the police department. Okay.
She's probably working.
She might not be here. Leonardo Bermudez from financial services. No Leo. Okay.
He's counting the money.
He's in purchasing. He's spending the money. Joseph Sorenzia, Public Works Fleet.
Joseph, we're going to give you a special recognition for going above and beyond your regular duties as a City of Coral Springs employee and for being a Bright Spot winner. We congratulate you, the entire commission.
Okay, Sandy Gomez, Police Department. I already pulled his certificate, but want to recognize him. Deborah Hamilton, Police Department.
Deborah, for going above and beyond your regular duties as a City of Coral Springs employee and for being a Bright Spot winner, the entire commission thanks you.
Aaron Kafka, Police Department.
Aaron, for going above and beyond your regular duties as a City of Coral Springs employee and being a Bright Spot winner, we congratulate you, the entire City Commission.
Thank you very much.
Karen Mullings, Development Services, Building Division.
Karen, again, for going above and beyond your regular duties as City of Coral Springs employee and for being a Bright Spot winner, we, the commission, congratulate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alyssa Picotti, Police Department.
Elisa, again, for going above and beyond your regular duties as a City of Coral Springs employee and for being a Bright Spot winner, we, the City Commission, congratulate you.
Sophie Solicito, Development Services Code Division.
Sophie, again, for going above and beyond your regular duties as City of Coral Springs employee and for being a Bright Spot winner, we, the City Commission, congratulate you. I think that's yours.
Okay, and last but not least, Darren Tufo, Parks and Recreation. No Darren. Okay, that would be the end of our winners this quarter.
All right, I'm going to pass it down for all of you to say anything that you want to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I work with the most wonderful department, and thank you for Jackie, who nominated me. And thank you to Sybil and Alex and all my department who are most amazing people that I work with.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you all. And I'd like to say thank you to the dispatch center that we have, our communications unit. Very proud to have a Coral Springs Dispatch 911 Coral Springs Police and Fire.
Thank you.
Just want to say thank you.
Now we're open to public comment. Do we have any speakers?
Mayor, we do not have signed speakers this morning.
Anybody want to speak? We have a speaker.
Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, the Commissioner, City Mayor, City Manager, and the City Clerk. I am Pastor Jackson, and I have a mandatory meeting at 9:30 in Pompano Beach, which I'm going to be late for, but it's very crucial that I have the opportunity to just speak unto the entire staff here, and so I've taken the time to do that. It wasn't planned. I came here to the City Hall this morning in pursuit of speaking to the Commissioner, the Vice Mayor, and yourself. I know that I just can't walk in and do that, understanding protocol. I am a resident of the city of Coral Springs for now a little bit over 2 years. And from a biblical standpoint, the last 120 days of my life has been turned upside down. And I've been subject of harassment by our local police department. And I'm not here to bash them, but I need to talk with the city manager at another disclosed location. I'm not comfortable with my current treatment here in the city of Coral Springs. And so that's just basically what I want to share with you. I do have a meeting in Pompano Beach. And this past Saturday at the city concert that I came to, as I was making my way to Pompano Beach, I saw there was a city concert and I saw some food trucks. I decided that I wanted to get something to eat from one of the food trucks. Upon my departure, before I left, I had the honor of meeting Vice Mayor Mr. Lou Simagala. Simagler.
That's close.
Yes, sir. And I took his card, and he told me to send him an email. But before my day ended this past Saturday, I was harassed again by the Coral Springs Police Department, and including them putting a gun on me, and just a number of things that should have never happened. And since May the 8th, I've been Baker Act twice by the Coral Springs Police Department. When I come here to City Hall, I'm the subject of conversation. It's pure discrimination. And I desire to communicate with you, Your Honorable Mayor. I didn't come here to bash the police department. I just come here to share what is currently going on in our beloved city of Coral Springs. I'm a United States Marine veteran, and I serve my country, I serve my community. I'm a pastor, I'm a businessman, and my life is in shambles because of the Coral Springs Police Department.
Okay, well, Chief, if we could, let's look into it and get back to the city manager and myself. Okay?
Thanks, Your Honor, and thanks you all for giving me an opportunity to say hello, and you all have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thank you so
God bless
much.
you.
All right, God bless you as well, sir.
Anybody else? Seeing none, let's move on to business. Mr. Hearn, we're going to talk about ordinance 2018-115.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending the Land Development Code of the City of Coral Springs to increase certain sewerage service rates and water rates, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is a request to hold a public hearing, approve, and set second reading for September 20th.
Okay, does anybody want to testify on this issue? Okay, do we hear any motions? Moved by Commissioner Vignola, seconded by Vice Mayor Simaglia. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Consent agenda. Does anybody want to remove any items from consent agenda? Seeing that no one's moving it, any motions?
I'll move it.
All right. Moved by Vice Mayor Simaglia, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Going on to item number 6, 2018-116. Mr. Hearn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 3 of the Code of the City of Coral Springs entitled Administrative and User Fees by amending Section 3-4 entitled Fire Inspection Fees, Emergency Medical Service Fees, and Miscellaneous Fire Administrative and User Fees, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for effective date. This was approved on first reading, and we had a public hearing then. This is simply a request to approve on second reading and adopt.
I'll move it.
Moved by Commissioner Vignola.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Daly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Item number 7 was removed from the agenda. Item number 8. Kern, I guess you're recognized on this one, too.
Thanks, Mayor. This is a request for additional expenditure. I believe it's really about $150,000 to do some of the medians in the parks, and to do that by using an outside service. The savings come from the attrition of employees, I believe, and the use of less equipment. And Rick Engel's here if you need to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I think the increased total is about $150,000.
The figure here is 625, but that, we already have approved about 500,000 of that. So this is the total, as opposed to, they're just doing some additional work. And we have 2 employees that are either retired or gone, so we're sourcing out this work. Any motions?
I'll move it.
Moved by Commissioner Vignola, seconded by Vice Mayor Semaglia. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Item, Resolution 2018-035.
The resolution of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, establishing a policy for the solicitation of sponsors, providing for conflicts, providing for an effective date. And what this does is it really clarifies the procedure for sponsorships, and also allows the city manager to approve sponsorships of $40,000 or less. There's a scope of what the funding can be used for, and there also the type of entities that are eligible are limited. For example, cannot be political organizations or tobacco or other type of companies. It's wholesome family corporations, and we never really had this in writing. You're allowed to do that pursuant to case law and law, and so we wanted to really tighten that, and to give the manager the ability to do that, because sometimes these sponsorships come very quickly, and this should increase our ability to get sponsorships.
Any discussion? Commissioner Vignola.
I'm not in favor of sponsoring all the different city events and stuff. I think there's, especially reading some of the language in here, deciding whether or not an alcoholic beverage company is marketing directly towards minors, who makes that decision and how do we draw that line? I'd rather us limit our sponsorships to maybe just a couple of our larger events, maybe. But I hate to see us go the way of eventually being like a minor league ballpark at everything and just sponsor the heck out of everything. So I'm against it.
Commissioner Daly.
Mr. Mayor, look, my take on it, I've asked this commission, and we've agreed in the past to do everything we can to increase the ability to host community events, right? To drive community support and community unity, and those things all cost money. So as far as I'm concerned, if this is a way that allows us to continue to do more events, larger events, more frequent events, whatever it is, I think it's a benefit ultimately to what we're trying to do here. So I'm supportive of certainly outlining a process, because right now the process doesn't work. If somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to donate, for example, $10,000 to be a partner, I think we think of the word sponsorship too directly. I think it's more of a community partner. So if somebody says, hey, I want to come in and partner with you on the 4th of July celebration, here's a check for $10,000, under the current policy, because there isn't one, that's got to come to commission for approval. If we give the manager the authority and purchasing power up to $40,000, I think we should be able to take sponsorships and partnerships in that same amount. So I'm supportive.
Commissioner Carter.
As the past sponsor chair for 8 years for the local art festival, I understand how critical it is for sponsored dollars, but from a visibility standpoint for the marketer, I also understand Commissioner Vignola's point. There should be discretion, and there should be a process and rules in place on what we could accept. But an event is even better with sponsored dollars, and so I am supportive.
Vice Mayor Semaglia?
I understand your concern. Very true, we do need sponsored dollars, we just, now it says that we have a policy, so if we follow the policy, we should be okay.
Okay. Any motions?
I'll move it.
All right, moved by Commissioner Daley, seconded by Vice Mayor Semaglia. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All against?
Aye.
Okay, passes 4-1. Moving on to Commission Communications, I'm going to start with you, Commissioner Daley.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief. If you need to get in touch with me, you can call me on my cell phone, 954-778-3304. Email me at ddaly@coralsprings.org or find me on any of the social media networks. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Vignola.
That was pretty brief.
Right?
Coral Springs Youth Soccer is coming up this season. They're having their second registration Saturday, September 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. over at Cypress Hall. They also need sponsors and coaches. I think this will be my first time in a long time I'm not going to actually be coaching this year because my kids aren't going to be a part of the program. They've moved on to a different program now. But also on Thursday, September 13th, for those of you that can't make it, Saturday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Over at Cypress Hall. Also, it is a excellent youth soccer program. And for those of you young ones, I advise you to go ahead and give it a try. Also this Saturday at the library across the street, we have the Harry Potter's Wizarding World at the Northwest Regional Library, and that goes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. A lot of cool things going on related to Harry Potter. They're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the release of the first book. The other thing I wanted to discuss was I know we had briefly touched on this over the summer about temporary signs. I don't know how many of you guys got complaints about it, but I know I got a lot of complaints about it this past election last week and the weeks leading up to it. There's a lot of confusion about where signs were allowed. Should they be taken from here? Should they be taken from there? It'd be nice if we had a unified policy, and I think, waiting till the end of November before this election, my opinion, I think it's not fair to the candidates that are running for office and for their supporters and things to sit there and watch, and see the frustrations. We've all been there. We all know that. And knowing that our current sign code is not valid with the United States Supreme Court, it's upsetting to me to see us go ahead and continue to push it off. I would like to see us go ahead and bring that back sooner rather than later. I don't know how you guys all feel about it, but I know I did get a lot of complaints on it, and it was brought to my attention some of the legalities of it. So I don't know if anyone else has changed their mind, but I would hope that we would go ahead and try to see that issue through as quickly as possible, because it's really not fair when we know something is not legal and we're going ahead and having a policy anyway. With that, if anyone has any questions or comments, you can call me on my cell phone at 954-632-7544.
Vice Mayor Semaglia.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I want to thank the military for doing what they do so we can do what we do. And kudos out to the police department and fire department for what you guys do. Most of the calls I've been getting lately, believe it or not, kudos for the police and fire department. Don't get a big head now, but you're doing a great job. Anyway, thank you for that. I want to say Saturday night was a phenomenal event. How many people were out there at Sips and Bites? Did I say that right?
Yep.
Wasn't that amazing?
Bites and Sips.
Bites and Sips or whatever. It was I've never seen so many people on the lawn at one time. It was amazing. I want to thank the staff for putting that together. Great, great job. My office hours are the first Monday of every month, or whenever you want to call me, I make myself available to you. You can call me at 954-801-2004. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Commissioner Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to remind my low-income seniors who have maintained a long-term residency of more than 25 years that you do have the opportunity for additional homestead relief, and you can get the additional details at the property appraiser's office at 954-357-6830. I also want to thank the police department and to remind everybody that we are having a gun buyback program here at City Hall on September 15th. Right? Okay. From 9 to 3 in the garage downstairs. And regarding signs, I would be opposed to moving forward without input from the real estate community because that drives such a big portion of our business. As long as we have that.
I'd love to have the input from the real estate community. I'd just like to see us do it before almost December.
Okay. And lastly, the charter school is back on the table, and it's becoming a big issue in social media, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. The city has posted a FAQ, frequently asked questions, format, or answers to your questions so that you can have the facts, and I think it's very, very important that you look at that because misinformation is being spread, and that is not good. The only question I have is we have stated that we would be working with stakeholders before we make a decision to move forward. And to me, those stakeholders are the residents that are impacted. So I would just like to know when that's going to be, how that's going to be done.
Yeah, we're scheduling meetings and starting to, they're on the calendar right now. We'll be meeting with different stakeholders over the next, few months.
Okay, good. Thank you.
We're also looking at, I believe, doing a Facebook Live event as well that would be interactive and include our experts in the different areas and give our residents an opportunity to engage through that as well.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I jump in real quick on the, or, I'm sorry, Commissioner Carter, can I jump in real quick on that point while you're still on it?
Go ahead.
And it mirrors kind of what you've said. I don't know about anybody else up here, but I've not seen an actual plan or proposal yet. So I'm assuming if I haven't, the rest of the commission may not
I
have.
saw something.
Right, but not the actual
Oh, not
layout
actual,
and
no,
everything else, right?
proposed.
So you've got all of this conversation out in the public and on social media and everything else, and obviously you got to take that with a grain of salt. But I find it very interesting to see this uproar of opposition to a plan that no one has seen. If this body hasn't even seen it, I assure the residents that they haven't actually seen what's being proposed. So I would ask before we condemn a plan that you haven't seen, we wait to see that proposal. So I'm all about community input. I'm all about getting the input of the residents and everybody else and what the manager just stated. But let's not condemn it before we actually know what it is.
Good point, very good point. Okay, if you would like to reach me for any conversations or discussions regarding the city, happy to, 954-998-4186 or joycarter@carlsprings.org. Mr. Mayor.
Just a couple things to bring you all up to date. After this meeting, we're having a meeting with staff on the sign issue. And I also have a meeting with all of the appropriate real estate people, I think next week, to go over what proposal we might have. So we're moving forward with that. It's not just stagnant. Hopefully we'll have a proposal that everybody can live with. I also want to tell everybody that Coral Springs is going to be host of a Forget or Don't Forget 911. They're going to have something come into the city. When is that? Is it
September 11th and 12th.
September 11th and 12th? And where is it going to be?
It'll be by the public safety building and the gym in between.
Okay. It's called Never Forget, and I would encourage everybody to go out there and look at it.
You need to register for tickets, so if you go online to the city website, you'll be able to find a link, register for tickets, a time
Eventbrite.
slot. There's very few left, so if you're gonna do it, try to do it as quickly as possible.
Eventbrite.com.
Okay, and finally, I just wanted to say go Gators. They're one of the only Florida teams that won this weekend.
Played tough Georgia Southern.
So we played a tough game. It was 53-6. It was Charleston
Southern. It's even worse.
Southern, and they're a good team. I
Florida.
just feel bad for Miami and for FSU that they're.
How many wins you have last year?
Well, I don't care about last year. This is this
Mr. Mayor, how much did you pay him to play?
This is this year. And
Football season,
right now,
folks.
there's only 3 of us on the dais that have winning schedules. I think it was Notre Dame and Texas A&M and Florida. So anyway, go Gators. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Goodrum.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to defer my time to Assistant City Manager and Fire Chief Frank Babinek for a quick update. A few things.
Good morning. I just wanted to bring 2 things to the Commission's attention and say thank you. Over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the fire department was out collecting for MDA, and the community stepped up big time. We collected $14,500 over those 3 days for MDA. So it's the largest year we've ever had. So I want to thank everybody for their support, thank the community for their support, and really stepping up for that great cause. Secondly, next week I'll be traveling to Colorado. Next Saturday, Paul Petrofessa is going to be placed on the memorial wall at the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation for, he's considered line of duty by the International Association of Firefighters, so he'll be memorized and memorialized on their fallen firefighters wall. So I'll be representing our department in our city for that event next Saturday. So if you guys remember, just your thoughts with him and his family for that special day. It's almost 2 years ago, believe it or not, that he passed from pancreatic cancer. So just want to give you an update on those two items.
Mr. Goodrum?
Mayor.
Mr. Hearn?
Mayor, I have nothing to report tonight.
Okay, with that, we're adjourned.